Okay, we lit it just like a fuse, so no need to pick and choose. Welcome to 2020, where we do more than interviews. The hottest be coming through, jumping knowledge on all that you get. A big at the front of you with the truth that they offer you. Yeah, hands up, we doing it for the culture. To give artists and businesses more exposure. Keeping it real and stay solid just like a boulder. It's about to go all the way down, can't get no lower. Chasing my dreams, know that they get no slower. But if I stay running, I promise they getting closer. Moreover, success my older. And if you're sleeping on me, I'm waking them up like Folgers. I told you, coming from the land with the tide roll. Well, we'll be on a whole different vibe though. We like to ride slow and keep our windows tinted so you really can't see us. Like Stevie Wonder waking up with his eyes closed. Yeah, got the kind of flow that rock the boat. On my 16s and pounds of dope. And if you figure you can hang with me on the mic, then grab some rope. Matter of fact, better grab some hope. While you at it, we keep it live. It's time to tune in. Turn up the sound on what you're using. It goes so hard, I think it's bruising. The show is 2020, no need to zoom in. Yeah.
Youre, what's good? It's your boy, Sir. Boy Black in the building.
Yes,
what's
sir.
good, bro?
Was good. And that intro was lightweight lit. And I put the emphasis on the lightweight because I wasn't in it.
Man,
I didn't see K Marie in there either. So I was sitting here the whole time. If I see K Marie in there, I'm gonna say something.
See, the updated version is coming. So some of those scenes is real old.
No,
but yeah, bro. Good. Man, before we even get started, how you doing, bro?
Oh man, I'm good, man. I'm in a good mental space. I know what I should be doing. I got enough business of my own to be minding my own.
Ooh, that is clutch right there. That is clutch right there, because a lot of niggas be trying to buy business nowadays, man. Shit.
Man.
But bro,
your business.
Man, profound. But bro, we here to piss some people off today, and I'm with the shits, man.
Oh shit. I like how you come get me when you feel like this,
bruh. You know what I'm saying? Because I know who I need to bang with, bruh. I know who my rod is. I know who's gonna pull up, and I know who got the strap off rip.
Right. California love. You know what it is,
bruh. So there's recently come out a post that you have reposted on your page that was it just resonated, bruh. It resonated with this whole double standard situation about body positivity. We like it when it comes to women, but when it comes to men, it's like we can be the butt of every joke possible. And to those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, I'm gonna go ahead and post it here. You know what? Here we go. And I'm gonna read it from the top. Put my good voice on.
From the top.
Last week, people made fun of Nelly's meat size. This week, they're making fun of 50 Cent's weight gain. But when it comes to making honest comments about Lizzo's body, that's unacceptable. Now, the subtweet there is Lizzo, Facebook and Instagram remove abusive comments from singers' accounts. I found that interesting.
Wait, say that last part again.
Oh, at the bottom there. It has Lizzo and then a colon, and it says Facebook and Instagram remove abusive comments from singers' accounts.
Oh.
So basically they went out and scouted all the negativity stuff and they removed it, ahead of time. Now, I find that interesting for a couple reasons. One, before we even get started, I'm not here to bash Lizzo. I don't have nothing against Lizzo. Body positivity, I'm for it. If you want to love yourself, do that shit. That's what's up. Do that. I'm talking to the people who love them some Lizzo, but was the same people making fun of 50 Cent during that Super Bowl halftime show, talking about how big he got. These are the same people that made fun of Martin in Bad Boys 3, talking about look how fat he got.
He was kind of chunky though.
I mean, but still, but look, he was, you know what I'm saying? But look at it like this. Bad Boys 1 came out in 1990, what? You know what I'm saying? Like 5, 6, 7?
Right.
And so we hang on to these ideas of what body types are for men, and we want to destroy that mindset when it comes to women. But when it comes to guys, it's like, but we want y'all to still look like this. We still want your body to look like this, bro. And I just don't think this is this equality that everybody preaching, bro. What about you, bro?
Oh, that's interesting that you said that, like the equality thing. And it is like funny because men get shamed if they talk about women in a certain kind of way, like specifically Lizzo.
Mhm.
And that's only so that way that all the women can fall under this umbrella in order for them to be able to be accepted, because it's even called body accepting, right? And if
Mhm.
you don't accept it, you're body shaming, right?
Okay.
So it's a way to get them all in there, right? But then there's what they would call a double standard. And so if a man does that, and the thing about 50 was, yeah, he's a little older now, right? But
Mhm.
50 is not out of shape, because if you
Right.
really looked at it, they showed a clip where 50 jumped on the bar, pulled himself up, flipped himself up there. Now, I don't know if Lizzo could do that. I'm just saying, like, so I think we shouldn't even really try to compare the two, because there's no such thing as double standards as far as I say. But you know, I don't like how it goes back. I don't like how it's one-sided. And that's the conversation that we really need to have. And why is it one-sided?
You know what? And this plays a part into I feel like what's wrong today is that it's so hard to have this conversation without people getting in their feelings and like, like self-reflecting or putting themselves in the position of the people we're talking about. So I find it kind of contradicting that people will so quickly be like, well, this woman battles insecurities, whoop de whoop, and all this, and I identify with Lizzo. Well, what if somebody identifies with 50, like started out small in shape, but got bigger? You know what I'm saying? Like throughout your life, your body is gonna change, bro. Or even with Nelly, like, look, man, I jokingly say all the time, like when I'm doing poetry and stuff that's erotic, I'd be like, look, you finna get some regular dick. Like, don't come in
Regular.
here expecting no porn star stuff. You're getting regular dick because everybody likes to fantasize about what's the golden standard or what a dick is or what good dick size is or whatever. I really don't care, honestly. But I just don't like the fact that that could be so comedic, but Lizzo can't.
Right.
Like why is everything regarding to a man's anatomy up for sale, but when it comes to a woman, it's not. It's like, oh no, you can't talk about that.
Yeah, no, that's a shaming tactic, really. That's all it is. And I don't even really I didn't see the whole Nelly thing. I just saw everyone talking about it, and I was just kind of looking at the responses from some of the women, and they were like, "Well, you guys act like that. He's not like bigger than average." Like I said, I didn't see it. It's not like he's 10 or 12 or something, but he's bigger than the average. And and so the whole thing was, it's all about shaming. Like um any chance that they get, they being women, they'll shame. And I'm not all women, 68.2, talking about the
8.2.
majority, not talking about the outliers on each end. We talking about the majority, that they want to shame men because that's how they build their own self-esteem, right? Which is false self-esteem. Just like I would argue, hold on, this is my opinion.
Right.
I would argue that she's like bordering unhealthiness, right?
Okay.
And so, and that's always the first thing people say, but that's the first thing that's obvious to like the naked eye, right?
Mhm.
So they're not the same thing. So in order to like continue this whole narrative that women are great because they've been oppressed for so long, that it's time for that we have this equality. And so that's where the problem lies right there for me. Is there is what is equality? How do you what are they defining equality as? Because for
Mm.
one, men and women aren't the same. We're not equal. We are equal in some areas, but there are a lot of areas that we're not equal in. And so we need to learn how to embrace those differences instead of trying to create an environment where, oh, he and her are exactly the same, and call it equality. And that's just not reality.
I understand what you're saying. And I've heard you make this point before, and I think you didn't go as clear as you just did right now. It isn't that you're saying that we shouldn't enjoy the same like views or potential. It's just since we go about things differently, it's hard to establish what equality is when we have different metrics, different viewpoints, different standards, just different experiences overall. So I feel where you're coming from, because if we were to turn the tables, right,
Mhm.
and we were to say, you know, we want equality between blacks and whites, well, what does equality look like then? You know, sure, I'm able to get certain jobs that I couldn't before, but at the same time, certain people have put themselves and their families in positions of power where we may have the same job, but essentially we are not the same.
Right.
My concerns are not the same as yours, and I think men and women's are quite drastically different as well. So I think that's a very good point. So we should steer clear of the conversation of equality and just embrace, I guess, loving one another. I hate to say it so plainly.
Yeah, well, that would be the simplest deduction. But we have to ask ourselves, what when people are saying we want equality, are you asking for equality of opportunity or equality of outcome? Because they're two different
Mm,
things, right?
okay.
So I can even like equality is like, okay, a man and woman can go on the job, they both go in there and they have the same ability to get the job and make comparable wages to each other. Everyone wants to say men make more than women and all that other stuff. You and I can go into the same job, went to the same school, same GPA. Something about your personality, or maybe you just simply asked for 50 cents or a dollar more than I did. And then we're not equal already off top. So it's not nothing. It's not, see, this whole equality thing. And we can't even, we can't, there's no way that we can have equality of outcome. The only way that could happen is if there was like a tyranny for real, like where there's one
Mm,
entity that's sitting there just divvying it out equally. And so that's not going to work. So the whole equality thing is not really a real thing to me. It's a thing of power. And if we see right now, that I see is a power struggle between men and women. And women don't want to be equal to men. They want to be more powerful than men.
mm.
And that's my opinion.
I
And it can only be,
understand.
and it can be for many reasons. I'm not saying it's for an evil reason, because anytime it's just like when you grow up and you was sheltered in your house the whole time, and then when you get outside, you go out there and you run around and you, who let the gate open? Now you just run around doing whatever you want. Now you power. I can go in anytime I want to. So it might not even be something that against us men personally, but it's just something that, okay, well, we just want to be able to do what we want to do. And then they're telling you you're wrong if you don't see it that way. That's where the problem is right there. And that's where
Mhm.
a power struggle ensued, because now men are going to react a certain way and women are going to counter react. And now there's a whole gender war.
And I feel like we're in the middle of one now. So
And I
you're
thought it was
absolutely right.
over. I thought the gender war was over, but it just only intensified because as long as they keep using Lizzo as the poster child of not promoting healthy lifestyle. And that's not to say all big women are unhealthy, right? Because
Right.
there are some that are healthy that's generally working on their weight and it's genetic, but that's not majority of the women. This is because of our eating habits, it's because of our lack of discipline. And it also has a lot to do with mental health. What people try to say, I've done studies on mental health, like what does mental health really look like? How do you heal yourself? How is your body when you're in that negative state? When you have extra weight on your body, that puts you into a low vibration.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
you can
agree.
see it because you can see the energy. You can see the energy that's going across. Because even if you told a woman with the most genuine care that you had, hey, babe, I mean, like, can you let's work out or something? And she like, you don't like me the way I am, or whatever. Now you have a problem because you have a whole society telling you that you're fine exactly the way you are. And then not only that, they can flip the mirror on you and say, hey, you're not in shape like that, when the metric is different from men.
Mm-hmm.
Because being a big guy, there's an advantage to being a big guy,
I
just
get
as
you.
long as you're not unhealthy.
I get you. And I'm not one of those people that believe in the take me as I am culture at all, because that's just absolving people of responsibility, men and women. I think that's extremely childish. Um, and honestly, to be completely real, if you're with somebody and you're like, hey, let's go work out, and their response is offense, I'm perfectly fine with that being dead and right there. I'm just being real with you because I don't know any other conducive way to ask you to come along and let's do this together. You know what I'm saying? That's like saying things without saying it. You know, that's saying like, hey, I want to embark on this journey with you because I care. If I didn't care, I wouldn't say shit. You know? So why do you think people are so quick to be offended when it comes to this topic? It seems like there's no right answer in the approach because it
Oh,
seems like the cop out. I'm gonna be real. The cop out I always hear is there'll be a unifying statement like, we've dealt with this for years, being shamed, body types. This is a man-made empire. You guys rule the world, blase, blase. And so they'll unify making that statement. But when we make the statement of, well, how come a statement like this doesn't work? That, hey, let's go work out together. Then they'll exclude and say, well, I'm not like that. You see what I'm saying? It's like double dutching. And that it makes things hard to kind of convey.
yeah, it's just like you said earlier. It's just a way of absolving themselves from responsibility. Because the way, I mean, like, even how the human brain works, like, we're gonna do the least amount to try to get the maximum gain, and they're getting maximum gain on not. They're priding themselves in not working out. They're
Mm,
priding themselves of showing up any kind of way. They pride themselves. Look, we can go on TikTok right now, and it's people that just morbidly obese, jiggling and wiggling, wiggling and jiggling, and there's people that's just cheering it on. Like, they don't understand this is like a circus. Like, you guys are playing, they're playing themselves out, like, to make themselves think that that is that it's okay. We live in a society where everything is okay. Everybody lives in their truth
mm,
instead of living in a truth or the truth, and so then that's subjective. Where do you get truth from? Who's to say that I'm not happy like this? You're not happy like that. Just like all y'all out there talking about, I don't have to have a man, I don't have to have it. You're not happy like that. You're not even designed for that. You know what I'm saying? You're not designed for that. You can condition yourself to believe that, but that's more stress. And then you wonder why these mental health issues, or how come you're so easily triggered and don't know your triggers and all that other stuff. And then you take all that and put it in a box and blame someone else. And the only thing that's going to do is just create division between man and woman. And if we're going to talk about it, it's going to affect Black people the most.
mm.
It affects us the most. And you can just look at the numbers. What, 70-80% of Black women initiate divorces. They're the highest that not want to be married. They the most educated. They in their bag. They don't need no man. Do you think that's hurting the white family structure? Yes, it is. Do you think it's hurting it at the incremental rates that is hurting ours? No. By the time we are instinct, what is it? Instinct?
Extinct.
Extinct, yeah. By the time we extinct, or the numbers get low enough that it's critical mass, they can correct theirs because they're a majority in this United States. They can afford to lose 12, 13, 14% of their population to wipe out our 14, 15% of the population. Even if it's just 10%, they can correct it. You know what I'm saying? So what we need to do is we need to stop playing the game of following what everybody else doing. We know what we're doing wrong, but we're justifying BS. And I'm not with it.
I understand, bro. I understand. There's a difference between, celebrating someone's success or encouraging and just it feels like settling for where you're at. And I feel like it's an overabundance of people settling for where they're at. Like I'm one of them people where I hate to be stagnant, bro. Like I get physically ill, like for real. It weighs on me. Um, and I wonder where those people are in that mentality where they're applauding, body positive in those dangerous situations. Like because you can't bullshit yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm one of them people's that say at the end of the day, when it's just you, you know what you have to do. You know what you're dealing with. You can get you as many in the amen crowd as you want. That's cool. Do you? But if you're self-harming, at what point do you like face yourself and say, yo, I gotta make a change? Like hell, even you know what? Even Lizzo got backlash when she was working out. Did you know that?
I was just sitting here thinking about that. I was like, she can, like you said, when you look at yourself in the mirror, you know what it is. You can fool everybody else, but you can't fool yourself. Like,
Right.
so she wanted to work out, like you said, and she was working out. And then it was when they put you on this pedestal, it's almost like you're the puppet now. Because
Mm,
because if Lizzo was to wake up tomorrow and say, you know what, I've been fronting, I've been capping, I'm not really happy. I want to work out. This is not the direction I want. This little girl came and wrote me a letter, and I felt it, and I wanted to do that. Yeah, there'll be initial, yeah, go ahead, girl. But then we would not be talking about Lizzo. The
right.
reason why we talk about Lizzo is not her music. It's because of the things that she do,
I
because
agree.
she represents something. And it's only like that's like a one out of 100 things, little micro things that they do, like D Wade son, you know, Lil Nas X, all these little incremental things that people say, oh, what they do in their life is doesn't matter, and all them little things matter. All them little things is create social constructs. And
Yeah.
then when the pack mentality come in, and then wimp the sisterhood, if it has to do with a woman, especially a black woman, they're gonna band together. Have you ever argued with a black woman and you know she was wrong, and she knows she was wrong, and she's gonna keep arguing you until you don't want to argue no more? Like, not only black women, but I'm saying specifically black women because I have black sisters, a
Right.
black mother. No one hurt me. So I'm just saying, like, you're not gonna win that battle. So you just let it go. So for us as men, what we need to do is we need to do something about it. Stop sitting here. See, and this is one of them things that probably won't happen, but stop glorifying stuff that y'all know y'all don't like. Like, that stuff is a fetish. Some dudes
Hmm.
do like chubby women, right?
Hmm.
But in their mind, when they thinking about their wife, that ain't what she look like. But society's changing. Maybe like 10, 15 years now, that'll be the norm. I don't know, but I don't think it's good for us as people.
No, I do disagree there. I ain't gonna lie. I've always loved, larger women.
Mhm.
It's it's the matter of the unhealthy side of it. That's what concerns me. Like I've always loved the curves and everything, but I've also been concerned about, okay, we're here. This is where you are, and I love you the way you are. But, you know, just like you're gonna have to hold me accountable for going to the doctor and get my yearly checkup, you know what I'm saying? Like I have high blood pressure.
Mhm.
Now, do I need a woman that's gonna be like, hey, eat this and eat this, let's go get some greens, let's do fried chicken every day. Do I amen that? Or do I be like, no, I have to buckle down. If I'm gonna be here with you, I need to do what I need to do to make sure I'm here. You know what I'm saying? And I think people separate the term healthy and like make subsets of healthy versus just an overall healthy definition. Healthy, and I get in the sense of weight, it's a little bit harder because they're different body types.
Mhm.
That I understand. I feel that 1,000,000%. But there is a certain mental illness where you are living in disbelief, or you're trying to escape the fact that you're not healthy, and you're surrounding people with this idea that you're happy when you're visibly not. Like you're saying, is lying and just getting people to support you, and it makes me question what your motives are. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're so dire to have people agree with you and follow you, what are you going to do with all those followers? What message are you going to pass on?
Yeah. I think in the DSM-5, that's categorized as delusion.
Mm.
Not literally in the DSM-5 though, but that's delusion. Like, and the thing about it is, and they believe it because you have society telling you that it's okay. Society says it's okay. So why would they have any other reason to believe other than what they think as being okay?
Sorry about that, bro. What did you say that part again?
Yeah. I said, I said, as long as they're in society, like as long as they live in a society where they say it's okay, they have no motivation to even change it or look at it in a realistic way, especially when you have a double standard that always works like this. Like you can shame a man, you can shame anything about a man, but if you say anything about a woman, it's negative. So as long as we live in that kind of society, then they have no motivation to make an adjustment or even see it for the reality that it is. It's even at the point now where like they've changed Victoria's Secrets. They ran out the leader, like the head brass of Victoria's Secrets, in order for them to start selling plus size stuff, which they did not want because they know that most men want slim and young women to sell. You know, it's just that's just what men like. But now they're starting to change that. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. Like it depends on how you're looking at it from a business aspect. Okay, I can see it. You know, the big women want to wear Victoria's Secrets and all that stuff too. So I get it. Or was it what's the other one? Yeah, Victoria's Secrets. So I get that. And so, but the thing about it is, are you pushing that on us, or is that something that we're asking for? And there's a difference.
I'm gonna be real. In this particular case with stuff like that, though, I do see the representation side of it a little bit more.
Mhm.
I have seen where in instances where stuff doesn't just for a certain shape of a woman, a certain curvy woman, something doesn't fit quite right. And I do believe that's why boutiques have exploded over like this last pandemic few years, like like the risque style of wear. So I do feel with Victoria's Secret expanding the body type, I don't see that as a negative per se, because that does give the opportunity for those who are in those body types to feel represented and feel, name brand sexy, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, and I don't have a problem with it. But when you take over a company and force them to do it, that's something different. And then I can see if someone created a company and did that,
Right.
I'm sure that would blow all the way up. But
Yeah.
when you take someone else's business and force them to do that and run them out of their own business in order to do
Oh, I
that,
see what you're
that's a
saying.
problem. And then
Yeah.
also, not only that, replace a transgender, like, hey, whatever your lifestyle is, that's what it is, right? And then you place a transgender in there to in order to make these changes. That's an agenda.
Yeah.
There's a difference
Yeah.
between having like a free market society versus someone's pulling the string saying, hey, these are the directions we're going to go. We're going to continue to do these things until we have the world thinking that, hey, this is status quo now.
Mm.
And what do you do as a man when you how do you fight that? How do you fight that? How do you the thing goes all the way across, like even like I was just seeing recently with Tommy Sotomayor. A woman hit him, he reacts, you know what I'm saying? He doesn't hit her back. He calls the police on her. He's wrong. He's a
Mm.
snitch. He's all these things. They even switched the narrative to make it look like that he provoked her into doing it. So what do you do as a man? Like socially, you can't do anything. When it comes to domestic violence, you can't do anything. A woman can hit you and there's no repercussion. Where do we draw this line, especially if we keep talking about equality? Like, where is this
Mhm.
equality line?
I see where you're going, and I do agree with that. Um, Domestic violence against men is an issue where that scale is like slanted, you know. Um, and that's why, well, at least in Alabama, it is where if there's a domestic dispute and the police are called, somebody got to go to jail. At first, I didn't understand that law, but given the situation of if they leave and things escalate again, they could have possibly prevented that. So I do think that is a band-aid on a situation that needs reconstructing. I do agree that society-wise, this whole if you get hit by your girl and you call the police, you snitching on her. I do think that's as preposterous as the other side of that conversation, where if a man hits a woman and she calls the police, how dare you call the police on a black man given the history? I think it's just as preposterous.
Yeah.
This whole anti-police movement, honestly, is preposterous. At some point, it's like we don't want anybody telling us what to do when it infringes on what we want to do. We want the protections of it, but we don't want the the inner workings or it to fall on us.
Yeah, because we
Now
just got a bad history with police in general, so that kind of
we do.
makes it hard. It makes it hard, uh, just to think of. But as far as like a man calling the police on a woman, like back in the day, that might be the code. In 2022, y'all, we need to wipe that codes. All these codes that we used to live by, it's
Yeah,
time
that
to
shit
wipe
is.
them because now we're having this progressive lifestyle, but you're trying to hold these antiquated laws so you can hold men in place so you can just what old girl saying poetic justice, this is just a world for us to walk around and fuck up in, right? Or something to
Mm,
that the world is made for women to walk around and just fuck up in, and they really doing that, like they really doing that. So I mean, like now, like would I call the police on a woman? No, I don't know if I could do that.
oh, I would in an instant. If I get hit, it's over. Because the way I look at it is like this. It was only one instance in my life where I was hit and I reacted before I realized it. And it scared the shit out of me. So that being said, when someone holds that much power over you to trigger you to where you lose reason and rational thought to preserve myself, to preserve yourself, I'm going to call the police. And if I go to jail, I go to jail. If you go to jail, you go to jail. You know what I'm saying? It will show that at the end of the day, I made the best decision for us because one, we are a danger to each other if it's getting to that point. And I feel like people are overlooking that. Like this whole idea of I argue with you because I love you. That whole old rhetoric is akin to I hit you because I want to correct you because I love you. Nah, bro. If it's getting to a point where you can't argue without violence, it don't need to be, bro. That's just it. Either you need to grow, she need to grow, or both y'all need to grow. That shit needs to stop wherever the fuck is that.
Yeah, but now women are jumping on dudes next for sure because they know for one that they have recourse if a man responds socially and like legally. So like I said, they don't have motivation to change behavior. Um unless men start calling the police on them and make that the status quo because but it'd be hard, you know what I'm saying? Because like you get laughed at that.
I don't give
Like
a fuck.
this
Look,
little woman,
look here.
this little woman did that to hit you and all that other stuff. But women are becoming more aggressive now.
I agree.
It's not a matter of them knowing. See, men be like, that's dumb. Why would you go up to a man knowing that he's physically stronger than you? They're not using logic. You know what I'm saying? They using emotion and then they just reacting off that. And then what happens with that is now you in a situation where now if I hit her back, now I'm in trouble. She could hit me and don't even bruise me. She could
Mhm.
hit me first and don't even bruise me. And then I'm still on the hook for it. So
Right.
men just gotta like really walk away from the situation. Like when you see these hyper aggressive women, just masculine women, you gotta kind of like we gotta like chill for real because we're not helping ourselves by condoning it.
You know what? I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that because that brings up another point that I'm starting to have a conversation about with like more guys I come across, especially younger cats, like that I work with and stuff. I think a lot of the times people don't know, like you were saying, you got these women who are aggressive, who know how to game the system to make you react. One, we say women act with emotion, right? If we act with logic, we're able to deduce that, hey, you are trying to get me outside of my element to make this option occur. If you as a man are sound in your own mind enough to have that wherewithal and presence of thought that you're being irrational right now, logic is not an option right now. So I have to apply an outside force to protect me and possibly yourself. Because if you push me to a point where I snap and there's violence, you can't bruise me, but I can hurt you. Why not take the proper step to ensure that this doesn't get to that point? And also, shit, how bad is your dating that you can't pick out that this person is hella aggressive? Like, how bad is your interview process? You know?
But that hella aggressive is the norm.
Shh, not for
The
me,
hella
bro.
aggressive is the norm. And if it ain't the 68.2%, it's enough of it where it seemed like it is.
I think the aggressive is the mouthpiece that we see on social media. It's a lot of cap on social media, but I think those aggressive ones are the loudest ones, and that's why we see it the most.
I could buy that. I could buy that, but even having conversations with even women from online or offline, it's there. It is there. All you gotta do is bring up a topic, and then it's there. Because I do it all the time, and it don't even have to be somebody you trying to get with to even see that aggressive or assertive nature there. And a lot of women will use that, especially when they holler that they independent and they give themselves these aggressive male titles, these alpha female titles. That all that stuff before they even speak, it already resonates. Because that's who their aura is already. And the thing about what you were saying earlier, if men decide, because like we logically know that, hey, I could probably do some real damage to her. But the thing about it is when you a male and you're in your fight, flight, or freeze mode, you could be like, hey, check this out. And then what men used to do was walk away. Remember when men used to leave and women be like, oh, you ain't no man, you always running. You always running from your problems. No, what he was doing was he was loving you and not knocking your head off because he was fight, flight, or freeze. He wasn't scared of you, so he didn't freeze. He didn't want to fight you, so he only had one more option, and that was to flight you. And if men, and I agree with you, men should flight. They really should. Forget what they say. You should know that women are going to appeal to emotion. They're going to do nothing but try to shame you to play an emotive type argument, and you're going to lose every time. Why do you think so many men are out here killing themselves, killing their baby mamas, killing their kids, especially black ones? And we wasn't never doing that. We used to always say, oh, that's white people stuff. That ain't white people stuff no more.
That's true. That's true.
It ain't.
That's true.
It's a man thing now. I'm seeing it alarmingly to seeing these things happen.
I think the pressures of social economic instability is really, and the lack of safe havens for black men and just men in general has really played a huge part in that. I mean, even with us, like you said a snippet of it earlier when people be like, oh, you really gonna let that little girl and you call the police on her? Like, I've heard those conversations from circles of men. And I think once and that's one thing I do like about this next generation, they are tapping more into the mental health side and addressing those things, and they're more comfortable with it, creating those safe spaces for each other to talk and have that peace. That way it will carry over. If we truly the head and they the neck, if we are in a better space, they can be in a better space. We can be in a better space. I think we just have to focus on creating that society that we're talking about, like one circle at a time. Just make it the new norm as much as we can. It might be like throwing pebbles in the sea, goddamn, but eventually it's gonna create a wall.
I don't know. That's the optimist in you, and I want to feel that way too, but I don't think we have enough pebbles to throw in that ocean to make a wall. I just don't. I'm sorry. I hate to say that. I swear I hate to say that, because the thing about it is like no matter which way we turn, they're gonna make it like, hey, that's the wrong way to go about it. That's the wrong way to go about it. And we can't, because women are pulling out pistols now and weapons. That like it. What is it going to take? It's going to take a rise in women killing men in order for us to understand that, hey, things are going too far now. And I'm not saying you should go fire on a woman, because I've had it happen to me before. I got two-piece before by a woman. She was like 5'10" on the basketball team. Two-piece me straight up, like caught me off guard in the whole nine.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Like two-piece, like bye-bye, right? It wasn't no bobbing and weaving. I caught them, right? And I went through a process in my mind, and I was like, all I did was just pick her up. I just picked her up like underneath the butt and dropped her. Right? So, okay, you can try to use your logic, you know what I'm saying, to meet force with force, right? Even if you try to meet force with force, it's kind of sketchy, because how do you do the laws? How do you determine how the laws work? Because how the law usually work is simple as this: if he hit you and he was defending himself and knocked you out and broke your jaw, he was within his right to do that. Now, can society hold that being equal? What if men start fighting women back that get in their face and provoke them and all that other stuff? Can society hold that?
Oh, of course not. Of course not.
Why?
Of course
Why?
not.
See, this is what frustrates men, because when we say, okay, cool, we'll address what y'all feel is not equal, and we start talking about well, y'all should know because God did this. Then y'all want to start going talk about the Bible, but when it comes to everything else, it's my truth. Like I'm living my best life. All that. Like, come on, why can't society hold that? I think these new cats is starting to change stuff. They like, I ain't taking care of no kids that ain't mine. They're gonna start being like, I ain't letting no women hit on me and all that other stuff. So I don't know. It might be some hope in this new generation though.
I'm being real with you. I really think so, because back then, you know, they tried to glorify, oh, blessed is a man who will take care of another man's kids. I see that meme like once a week,
bro. That was woven into society, bro.
Right. And why, bro, we could do a whole nother conversation on why men can't have preferences.
Right.
But women can. We could do that. Matter of fact, what you doing next week?
You know, I'm always with 2020 podcast business. You know what I mean?
Bruh, let's meet back here and let's talk about that right there.
What, same black time, same black channel.
You know what I'm saying?
No, that's good. No, that's good. We need to have these conversations. And the thing about it would be good if we can get women to have these conversations, because then it sounds like an echo chamber when men talk about it, and then they'll always have a point that we won't bring up from their perspective. So that'd be good. So that'd be good if we could do that. But regardless of that, we still need to have the conversation, because even if we don't have it with them, us as men, we need to learn how to navigate through it, because like we need leadership more now than ever. Like I think we need leadership more now than ever than we needed with Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and Marcus Garvey and all them, because like society pressured them to end up being the person to stand up. Like in our society, people ain't doing that. Everybody's sitting down.
I agree, bro. I agree 1,000,000%. So that's what we're gonna do next week. We're gonna meet here and we're gonna do this. Let's make this a regular thing, bro. Because, like you said, these conversations have to happen, and we have to show people that we're having these conversations, bro.
Yeah, I'm with it.
Well, that being said, this has been Sir Boy Black. We going home.
2020. Please say the LLC.
Be it.